content we are creating. So video creation, we've also got video editing tutorials, gear reviews, video production tips and tricks, video marketing tips, YouTube ranking tutorials. So this is stuff that will read well for a human, but also helps YouTube understand what your channel is about as well. So for the sake of the channel that we are creating now, I'm just going to copy and paste this as the description for the new one. Next up, you're going to add links to your sites and to your social media profile. So we'll add in our website here and we can give it a name. We can add in our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then we hit save and continue. Okay, when that's complete, the next thing you want to do is to verify your channel. This is going to unlock some extra features and things in here. So you want to come up again to your profile image, come down to settings, down here to channel status and features. You can see these are the different things that you can unlock for your channel. And the first step in unlocking these is verifying your channel. So we'll hit verify. Next, you want to come through, select your country. You can either do it then with an automated voice message, or you can get a text message sent to your phone. Then enter the verification code, and your channel is now verified. So it doesn't take much to verify your channel, and you can see straight away we have access now for custom thumbnails. Here again, you obviously see our description in here. If we needed to make any changes to it, we can edit that here. But there's some other details that we can add in down here as well. So for business inquiries, we could add in an email address and go done. Easy for people to find an email address to contact us. If you want to add a location for your channel, you can do that in here as well. So from here, you want to go back to the YouTube Studio dashboard, down to the bottom to settings, and then down under channel. And in here, there's a strategy that we use to grow our channel and that we teach our clients and students as well. So click the link to grab your copy, and I'll see you in the next video.
Welcome to the complete tutorial on how to film, edit, and upload a YouTube video from scratch, step by step. Buckle your seatbelts and get ready, because maybe you want to grab a journal to write something. If you're shooting videos on your phone, or if you got your gear with you, gather it up, grab something to drink, because in this video, I am going to be walking you through how to prepare your gear and do your camera settings and shoot a YouTube video that gets views. We're going to talk about thumbnails and doing thumbnail photography and how to edit your thumbnails, how to step-by-step edit your videos, and then upload them on YouTube in the most comprehensive free tutorial on how to create YouTube content online, period. And in between each part of this 4-part mega camera, like the Canon M50 or the SL2, I'm gonna be talking about how to shoot thumbnails and go from shooting the photos to editing them, then how to edit the video, and then also upload it. So we're gonna take you concept to completion of creating YouTube content. So let's just dive into it right now with the gear we're gonna use to create this video. So for the first part, let's get started with the exact gear we're using. And actually, we just put together a brand new guide that you can grab at thinkgearguide.com, where we'll list out everything. I'll link to that in the description. But our main camera for this shoot is the Canon M50. And the reason I love this camera is because at around $600 with the kit lens, it's really the best all-around camera for YouTube in my opinion still. I mean, with the flip screen and the mic input, and we'll talk about some of those things. But in the gear guide, we cover all types of different cameras for different budgets, so definitely check that out. But for the gear we're using, we've got the camera. The main lens I'm going to be using for the video I'm creating for my other channel, Sean Thinks, is the 11-22 lens, because it's wide, really good for small and tight shots to get a really wide shot, and good for vlogging. Using a Tascar shotgun mic right on top here. A little bit later in the shoot, we'll use this Boya mic. And then I also have the kit lens. We're not really gonna be using that today, but we are gonna be using our 22mm pancake lens a little bit later on for a nice crispy shot with a blurry background. And then finally, I've got a K&F Concept tripod here that I'm gonna be using because I'm gonna be creating this video as a solo creator, like many of us are in the Think community, right? And so this is the full kit. I've got an SD card in there, and all together, you could pick all this up for a little bit under $1,000. You don't need all of this to get started, but these are sort of like the ultimate kit, I think, to create some killer YouTube videos. So we're gonna start in just a second, but now let's talk about the settings before we start shooting. All right, now go ahead and grab your camera, no matter what camera you have to follow along, but if you've got your M50, grab it. And normally when you'd get started shooting video, you'd probably pick video mode on the top of the camera. And that's a great way to start. When you do that, you can actually go into that video mode and you can put it on auto exposure. If you want the fastest way to get your camera set up and running, auto exposure is going to be auto everything. It might not look the best in some motion, in some situations, but it's really nice. Now you could also do manual, and we love manual, and if you want every single detail to be adjusted, that's a great option too, but we've kind of figured out a hybrid mode for a simple way to do auto, and we'll show you what that is. So we're actually going to start with TV on the top, which is shutter priority. And you can look that up for your camera. When it's in shutter priority, that allows us to prioritize what will make the video look the best. So let's talk about it. In shutter priority, what we're going to do is hit the Q, and we'll go through our settings. Now, first of all, we're going to do auto white balance just so it's quick and fast. We're going to do auto picture style just so the colors look nice. If we were going to color grade later, I would shoot on neutral, but because we want this to be a quick edit and export, drop it on YouTube, we just gonna have auto white balance, auto on that picture profile, and then I'm going to choose an autofocus mode of my face, at least initially when I'm vlogging and I'm on camera. I'm going to be shooting a video for my Sean Cannell channel of a home office tour, and so when I'm on camera, I'll do the face focus, and then when I'm shooting room shots, I can do kind of zone focus and tap certain areas. But then the biggest thing here now is our frame rate. And so if you want 24 frames a second, which is kind of a film look, you could choose that. If you want more slow motion or faster, if you're doing sports or something, you could do 60 frames. But typically I shoot at 29.97 or 30 frames a second. Now, once you pick your frame rate, and so pick 29 frames a second, 1080p is perfect, is then your shutter follows the 180-degree rule, which means if you're shooting 30 frames a second, you want your shutter speed at 60. If you were shooting 24 frames a second, you'd want your shutter speed at 50. Again, it's double whatever your frame rate is. And so the cool thing about shutter priority is it's going to always keep our shutter at 60. Therefore, the motion will always look good in the video. And then finally, we're going to go over to ISO here and actually put it on auto. So that way, the camera will adjust the lighting brighter or darker accordingly. Now, the final thing to note here is that this lens is, we're picking it because we're shooting these wide room shots and it's really good for vlogging. It's the 11-22 Canon lens, but because the aperture is f4, it's a little bit dark. So the ISO might go up a little bit high, but we're just gonna live with that. I mean, it is what it is, and ISO is where we're gonna get that lighting. And here's what I mean, is that if you want your video quality to look the best, you probably don't want to go over ISO 400 or 800 on this camera. If you want to just kind of vlog and take people with you and you don't have extra lighting, well then it might go higher and it's just going to affect the image quality. One thing to remember about ISO is that lower is going to be not as much light being let in, but it's going to be a better image quality. If you can get enough light or you can shoot outdoors. The higher you go, the more grainy the image is and the more it falls apart. So sometimes you need to go higher to get the light, but keeping it as low as possible will keep your image quality as high as possible. And with that, we're ready to shoot. Okay, so I'm about to get started doing my home office tour shoot here, but let's talk about the mic settings last. Now, because I'm gonna be vlogging like this shotgun mic is perfect. It's a $25 shotgun mic, and here's one setting that I love on it, is it has a plus 10 dB. Now, some mics have plus 20, but a lot of times that's too much and it'll make the audio too loud, but plus 10 is perfect. So I actually have the mic on. I've got just the high pass filter, just at normal, and then I've got the plus 10 dB, so it's cool. And so then I just go into the menu, head over to 8 here on the camera settings, and we can go to sound recording, and we make sure the sound recording's on manual. Here's the thing, if it's on auto, it has this kind of AGC, auto gain control, which brings in a lot of noise and even hiss sometimes because it's searching for voices. So when it's on manual, it means the audio's locked. And so what's nice here is I can then take this setting right here and just get the gain perfect for my voice. And so if If I'm right in front of the camera, I want it to be never hitting red and only really hitting that kind of 12 dB. That's our target. So if I'm in yellow, I'm in front of the camera, I go, okay, that's nice and clean. If I get a little bit further, and so that is gonna be really crispy audio settings. Our shotgun mic set up, our audio levels are ready, all of our camera settings are ready, so I'm ready to shoot my video. So a couple reasons why I love this setup is, of course, the flip screen, so I can always get a good shot composition of myself on camera. I love the wide angle lens, especially for like a room tour video because it gets very wide shots. But then I also love this Joby tripod because I can not just freelancing well before that and working from a home office. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down some of my favorite